Hello everybody, so today I decided to do a series review because if you've been following what I've been saying on Twitter and in my wrap-ups and my TBRs, I've been reading for the past few months the Kane Chronicles, and I just finished them, and I really enjoyed them, and I wanted to do a little review about it, but I'm going to try and keep this video spoiler-free, so please don't leave. I just want to share with you the awesomeness of the Kane Chronicles, because if you're like me and you enjoy Riordan's other stories like Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus, then you might have not read the Kane Chronicles just because it doesn't have Percy in it. I know that's what I did. I mean, every time I finished a Percy Jackson book or a Heroes of Olympus book, there was always a blurb in the back for the next book. But there's also a blurb for, like, the first book in the Kane Chronicles, the Red Pyramid. And I always skipped to that part because I was like, screw that, I want to know what happens to Percy! But I wish I wouldn't have done that and I got into this sooner because it was really fun little adventure. So I wanted to share that with you. Basically, if you don't know, the Kane Chronicles is about these siblings named Carter and Sadie. And Carter is 14, Sadie is 12. And because of reasons, they were raised apart. Carter with his Egyptian archaeologist dad, and Sadie with their grandparents in London. And one day, when Carter and his father went to visit Sadie, stuff gets pretty interesting very quickly, and Carter and Sadie find out that they are magicians that are descendants of, like, Egyptian pharaohs, and they're super, super powerful, and it's their job to save the world. And we just go from there. And this is a really interesting story. I mean, like, I don't know a lot about Egyptian mythology or magic, so this was really cool. And this is a bit different from the Percy Jackson in how, in Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus, the kids are like children of the gods. In these books, the magicians are not related to the gods, really, in any way. They are kind of like the magic police, as Carter would say. And they're kind of supposed to keep the gods in line. But Carter and Sadie have a certain type of magic, because they are, like, descendants of pharaohs, that what they can do is, like, they can host a god and work with that god, but that way hasn't been practiced in a really long time, so that causes some issues with the other magicians. But it's really, what I appreciate about Riordan's writing is the fact that even though these are, like, fantasy stories, one, I appreciate that they're set in modern times, so you can relate to the characters a little bit better, but also, even though it's about magic and stuff, you can still, like, wow, this is, like, I can get into this. And there's all this, like, it gets to you, it pulls on the heartstrings a little bit, but there's always, like, funny situations, and really, like, oh my gosh, are they gonna survive these situations, and all in all, it's just, like, holy crap. Now I want to talk about a few specific things, one being the characters, and the other being love interest, and also the plot. Now, I thought, what I appreciate about Riordan's writing is that the plot never feels like we're stuck. I don't ever feel stuck in these books. It's always fast, we're on the go, and it's really interesting. And what I also like about this series is how, for the first book, there was one villain that I thought he was going to be the big bad villain, but it turns out there was someone even more terrifying than him. So I like when authors do that. They're like, oh yeah, this guy, you think he's a problem? Wait till we get to the other villain. I always think that's really fun. Now when it comes to characters, there was a bunch of side characters, but really, I really enjoyed the main characters and two of the more important side characters. Now, Carter is adorable because he's a super smart nerd, but he's kind of like antisocial. And he doesn't really know how to hang out with kids his own age because he spent most of his life traveling around with his dad. So he's kind of like a little dorky professor, but he's got a little touch of the Riordan sass, so that's adorable. But it's also interesting because he's being told constantly, they're like, you're really important, and like all this pressure on him, and he's like, I'm just a kid. So he's got that going on. But all in all, I really enjoyed Carter as a character. His sister Sadie was awesome. I mean, she was so tough and took no crap. She would sass even the gods. I saw a lot of Percy sass in her. But she had, like I said how Carter had a little bit of the Riordan sass, it's like she just oozed Riordan sass. Just, all over. The sass was everywhere. But she was so blunt. She was blunt like a rock to your face. But she was also very caring and very smart. Very, very clever. And so I really enjoyed her as a character. Then two of my favorite, like, side characters was Bast, the goddess of cats, and Bez, the god of dwarves. So Bast was kind of like the kids' protector, and she was kind of like a mother figure to them, and because she is the goddess of cats, there's a lot of cat-related, like, jokes with her, and I thought that was hilarious. But she was very sweet and, like, really awesome in the battlefield, so I really enjoyed her a lot. And Bez was interesting. We meet him in the second book, and he's the god of dwarves, and he has a very interesting way of fighting his opponents. But he kind of reminds me of Coach Hedge from the Heroes of Olympus series. He's like a little rough and tumble guy, but he really cares about the kids, and he's pretty funny and tough, and I really liked Bez. Now, when we get to love interests, honestly, I wasn't really caring too much. Like, I wasn't really, like, shipping anything really hard in this series. I thought the love interests were cute and interesting characters, but I wasn't really, like, I need to know if they're gonna get together. I was more concerned, like, how are they gonna, like, save the world? But, Carter had one love interest, and her name was Zia. She was a magician. She was, like, fire was her specialty. And she, at first, seemed kind of uppity, and I didn't really like her, but the more we get to know her, the more you find that she's really a kind and really smart, a little complicated character. A lot of stuff happens to her, but she plays a lot bigger role in this series than I realized. But her and Carter together was really cute, and they're just like, we just want to be normal. So that was cute. In OTP, we just want to be normal. But they were cute. Sadie was stuck in a little love triangle with Anubis, god of the dead, and one of their friends, Walt. Now, the thing was, with Anubis, she couldn't be with him because the gods forbid it, but with Walt, it looked like it wasn't going to work because he was sick, and eventually would die. But, Raiden, I mean, he had a very interesting way of resolving all of this, that apparently some of the fandom was like, oh, that's cheating. But, honestly, if I could do that with guys I like, I'd choose that. So, I thought it was an interesting way to resolve a love triangle. And it was, interesting, to say that it was very interesting. I don't really know how to explain this without spoiling it, but, yeah. So, yeah, overall, I extremely enjoyed the series. 9 out of 10 stars. And I hope that I've convinced you to pick it up if you have not read this. But if you have, please let me know what you thought in the comments, because I'd love to discuss it with somebody. Also, one last thing before I go. Can we just talk about how beautiful all the covers are for this series? Like, they're just... wow. Wow. And wow. It's just beautiful from start to finish. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at thewally3t12. I'm also on Instagram at andI'mTheWeirdOne. So, I'll see you soon. Hope you're having a great day. Bye.